Here's a video guaranteed to have future generations saying, no, seriously, what actually happened? Our 2020 FanSided Year in Review. Hold on to your butts. It started off with the culmination of possibly the most dominant college football season ever, as Heisman winner Joe Burrow, head coach Ed Orgeron, and his NFL-bound LSU squad trounced Clemson for the national title. 26 days into the year. That's all it took to go downhill when Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna died in a tragic helicopter accident on the way to her basketball game. He was 41, she was just 13. On to February, and the needle briefly points back up as the Kansas City Chiefs win their first Super Bowl since 1970, beating the 49ers in a dramatic fourth quarter comeback and validating QB Patrick Mahomes and head coach Andy Reid, who finally broke through for a title. Then the NBA reformatted its All-Star game, which had gone stale due to a lack of effort. In the fourth quarter, it basically became a pickup game to 24, with Team LeBron winning for the third straight year. March 11th, otherwise known as the day everything went to shit, Jazz center Rudy Gobert is reported to have coronavirus at 9:27 p.m., which as we know now was quickly spreading across the nation. By 9:31 p.m., Adam Silver made a decision to postpone the season. This feels surreal, like a plot point right out of Space Jam. The next day, FIBA, La Liga, MLS, Tennis Federation, Big Ten, ACC, SEC, Pac-12, Big 12, Big East, MLB, Minor League Baseball, NHL, XFL, PGA Tour all suspend their activity, with only UFC and WWE fighting through by moving locations. Move forward another day and the dominoes continue to fall. NASCAR postpones further events, the Boston Marathon is rescheduled, and the NCAA suspends all on and off-campus sports until April 15th. The 13th is also the day President Donald Trump declares a national emergency. On the 15th, the CDC recommends the cancellation of events consisting of 50 or more people for 8 weeks. This basically ends the reality of fans attending sports events for the foreseeable future. Over the next 2 weeks, the Kentucky Derby is postponed, the National Spelling Bee is suspended, the XFL cancels its season, and the NHL postpones its scouting combine, award ceremony, and draft. Everything comes to a halt in the sports world. On thin ice to begin with, the XFL folds due to a lack of revenue. The league fared much better in its second attempt, but ultimately failed because of bad timing. In April, Michael Jordan would remind us of his greatness with the 10-part ESPN series The Last Dance. It would give this generation a glimpse of why old people love this guy so much. It spawned so many memes and pissed off so many of his former Bulls teammates. On April 23rd, just like it said it would, the NFL held its draft, virtually. It went pretty smooth, all things considering, and we got to see Commissioner Goodell's living room, so that's fun. Into May we go, and the NBA looks to be figuring out their return as the league's Board of Governors approves a bubble in Orlando, Florida at Disney's Wide World of Sports. On June 10th, NASCAR banned the displays of the Confederate flag at races after a call to action by driver Bubba Wallace. This was largely in response to the killing of George Floyd by police several weeks earlier. By the end of June, someone had finally figured it out. The National Women's Soccer League will begin the first sports bubble outside Salt Lake City. By July, so is the MLB and NBA. Baseball had to sort out some beef between the MLBPA and the league, but eventually agreed on a 60-game season. The NBA begins their Orlando experiment, starting off with a series of scrimmages before the regular season caps off. In August, things begin to pick up steam. First, the NHL completes the trifecta of major sports leagues restarting. They configure a 2-city bubble and begin a play-in tournament to determine postseason seeding. Next, the XFL is back from the dead. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and his manager/ex-wife Dany Garcia purchased it out of bankruptcy, making Garcia the first woman majority owner of a sports league. The NBA playoffs begin, which overshadows the amazing proficiency of the Orlando bubble, which literally had no COVID-19 issues. On August 26th, the return of sports and the fight for social justice would come to a head when Jacob Blake was shot by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Several leagues saw protests of games, including the NBA and NHL playoffs, NFL and college football practices, MLB, WNBA, MLS, and even the Western and Southern Open by Naomi Osaka. After a tense meeting in the bubble, the NBA agreed to continue play after league owners agreed to found a social justice coalition and use several arenas as voting locations. After not budging on really anything all offseason, the NFL starts its regular season on time, with the plan to add a wildcard team and remove one first-round bye from the playoffs. Also, I have to mention that this happened for the first time. It feels exciting and wrong. Hockey manages to finish its season, with the Tampa Bay Lightning winning their second ever Stanley Cup. Both basketball seasons also make it to the finish line. First, the Seattle Storm won the WNBA title, and then LeBron James and the Lakers defeated the Heat for his fourth championship, first with LA. For those still keeping track, the count is now LeBron 4 rings, Jordan 6. It's only right that October finishes with baseball. The Dodgers end a 6-game series with the Rays to finally win a championship after knocking on the door for years. It was their first since 1988. The NBA rushes to the draft on November 18th, where Georgia's Anthony Edwards gets selected first overall by the T-Wolves. After a highly publicized upbringing, LaMelo Ball gets picked by Michael Jordan and the Hornets. Then, we get to fight night. Mike Tyson makes his return to the ring against Roy Jones Jr. But this eventual draw is overshadowed in a way by Jake Paul putting former slam dunk champ Nate Robinson to sleep, much to the disapproval of NBA Twitter. Ugh. College football decides its 4 playoff teams, and they look eerily similar to every other year. Sorry, Bearcats fans. December 22nd and basketball is back already? The NBA quickly turns around another season in order to finish before the 2021 Summer Olympics. And that's a wrap for sports in 2020. Let's hope 2021 is less tumultuous.